Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl Monica coming to you with another video. Do not forget to like and subscribe and click that notification bell so that every time I drop a video, you will know. So, tonight I want to talk about the topic of growing through your pain, and we're just going to call it good hurts. Um, it really, the last couple of days is something that has really fell on me to talk about. Um, Thinking about the people that surround me and some of the different pains and the struggles that they go through, and then thinking about my own life, I felt like this is something I really wanted to share with you all. So, we all experience different levels of pain, different types of pain. Um, And we experience it early on sometimes. We experience it as kids, adolescents, young adults, different levels of life. Maybe, all the different levels of life that you feel like you've been through so far. And it leaves scars. Think about like when you are a kid and you may fall off your bike and you have that scar that never went away, that rock that hit you, that the scar never went away. Um, and you learn to live with those things. We put makeup on it and clothing, and sometimes it's in spots that nobody can even see anyway. So it works out, right? And we just go on, not thinking about it. It's not technically hurting us, right? So we don't need to worry about the scars or worry about the pain or worry about the things that we just have not dealt with. Um, but we have to deal with it. We have to deal with it because those scars, although you may feel like, okay, I've healed from those things, I've dealt with those things, have you really dealt with those things? What steps have you taken where you can look back and remember that situation or remember those things that hurt you? Remember those things that may have taken some of your self-confidence or your self-esteem. Those things that changed you, but maybe not so much in a good way where you feel like it has. Where it makes you feel like you don't need anybody. You don't want to be around anybody. You can do it all on your own. You've been doing it for so long and you just feel like it made you stronger. But when you feel the need to put up so many walls where it shuts everyone out, you're hurting yourself too. Trust me, I've been there. You put up these walls because you're like, no, I'm not going to get hurt again. I'm not going to let people in because every time I let somebody in, I get a new scar. And I already have all these scars and I already have all this baggage from before. So when you leave things undealt with, you just keep accumulating the pain, accumulating the scars, and eventually they're all over the place. And one day you look up and you're trying to understand, well, where did this come from? Where did that come from? And it's overwhelming because you didn't understand how in the world these scars just keep getting there. They're untreated. Now they're infectious. Now they're toxic. Now it's to the point where it's hurting vital organs, your heart. What are we going to do about it? What's the heart work that we're going to do about it? When are we going to take those different situations and those things that hurt us and get the help that we need? Now, I know it's a sore subject because we don't want to talk about getting therapy. We don't want to talk about getting coaching. We don't want to talk about those things, but they're real and they're needed, especially in our community. We can't keep shutting people out. In order to go to the level that God wants us to go to, we got to get rid of the baggage. We have to heal those scars. The ones that just never seem to heal. The ones that we just keep covering up and acting as if they don't exist, but they do. And then once we get the healing that we need from that situation, once we can go back and dig in our past on things that we just want to forget or that we buried, now when we dig it up, yes, it's going to hurt to relive it. It's going to hurt to hash those issues out. It's going to hurt. But it's going to be a good hurt. It's going to be a needed hurt. It's going to be really, really, really painful in some cases. And you may cry. And you may really go into a space where it seems like you're reliving it all over again. But the only way you are going to grow, the only way that you're going to truly heal is by dealing with that, whether that means therapy, laying it before God, understanding the part that you played in those situations, the accountability. It all matters. It's all important, and it's all a part of your healing journey. We have to learn to grow. I posted earlier about at some point growing through it, like the lessons, like take the lesson. But if you didn't learn anything and you're still in the same space that you were in previously, and you feel like you're not really going anywhere, you're kind of stagnant, it's time for you to start doing the work. It's time for you to go back to those painful situations that you don't want to talk about. The things that when they're brought up, or if it even crosses your mind, you get super defensive. Guards go up immediately. We gotta talk about it. We have to deal with it. I want you to grow. I want us to grow. I want us to grow together. We can be here for one another. We can lift each other up in prayer. But you have to be there for you too. And I know what it's like to go through trauma. And you don't want to think about that. That's the last thing you want to think about, especially when it's years later and it's not something you really want. You just like, can we just leave it? Can we just not open that door again? But we have to do it. We have to break it, whether it's a generational thing, whatever it is that the enemy meant for your bad. Trust. When you dig that thing up and you give it to God and you start dealing with those things, and I don't care if it's counseling, I don't care if it's just prayer, I don't care if it's your affirmations, whatever it is that you have to do to get to that level that you need to get to, it's time to get there. It's time to dig those things up. It's time to deal with those things. It's time to do the hard work. I don't even know what else to say. Just sitting here in silence, like, it's real. It's real because there are many nights that I have cried. There are many nights where I used to go through so much, honestly, mad at God, like at a certain point in time, like, why do we have to deal with this? Why are we bringing this up right now? But at some point, we have to grow so that we can get to the levels that we need to get to, because God cannot let you walk through the door at your next level if you're not in place, if you're not in the place that He needs you to be in. There are some things that you have to deal with before you can get to that next level. And when you sit here and think to yourself and you start talking to God about it, I guarantee you If you did forget because you buried it, I'm sorry, trust, he will bring it back up. And a lot of you know exactly what the areas are that you need to lay before God. Some of us need to repent. We never even repented. There are some things that didn't just happen to us. There are some things that we participated in, but it hurt us. It scarred us. And we want to grow. We want to be the full, whole person that God intended for us to be. Now, I know it's not going to be easy. And I know it's going to take some time. It's going to take some patience. But I know, because of the God that I serve, because of the God that lives in you, I know that you will be able to conquer this. He's giving you all the strength that you need to get through it. Cry through it. Write it out. Record it. If you want to put on a recorder and do however you have to get it out. If you want to talk to a friend, someone that's trusted, that you know is going to stay between you and them. And most importantly, most of all, first and foremost, laying it before God. It's time to dig those things up that we just forgot about or we wanted to forget about. Let's grow. Let's get to the next level. Let's get what God has for us. Because that's what He is. He's waiting on us to deal with those things that we really just don't want to deal with. But we have to. And we're going to learn the lessons and we're going to grow. And we're going to grow right through it. So when you deal with those, you can know, God gave me everything that I needed to get through this, to get through that, and then I got through that, and then I got through that, and I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to win this. I'm going to slaughter this giant. It's going down. I'm going to win. Because God gave me everything I need. Everything you need. And I know right now it doesn't look like it. Some of you have lost so much. And some of you have hidden so much. But it's never too much for God. Trust me, He will redeem the time. Take the time to write the things out. Really sit back, think about it. Meditate on the word. Meditate. Pray. Seek God for fullness. Not fullness, but apologize, but for wholeness. Seek Him on that. Because what you're looking for is in your healing. It's in your growth. He can't give it to us if we're not at the level we need to be. Imagine giving a 5-year-old $1 million. You just give it to them in cash. They're not going to know what to do with it. They're not going to value it the way that an adult would. They're not going to understand. And that's the same way that some of us are right now because we're not where we need to be. Let's get back in place. Let's seek God. Let's heal, let's grow, and let's learn the lesson, and then we're going to move forward. And we're going to break some things off of people's lives, off the family that you feel like you never could, the children that you feel like are so far out there and you don't even know how to reach them. Watch God move. Watch Him move. I love you, love you, love you. I'll talk to you next time.